My name is Just Bob Bowman, and I'm back with another live stream. I'm starting a little bit late. I just came from the gym, and as usual, the gym is always hard for me, but I got through the workout, and I'm very happy that I was able to get through the workout because it's all about bettering myself and being able to stay mobile throughout the year, get older in age. It's not about being buff anymore for me. That ship has sailed, but I want to keep myself in as best physical condition as possible. It was one thing that I want to talk about this evening, and there are some misconceptions about black men that get their passports. And I just got my passport not too long ago, and I recently went on a trip overseas, and I had a very good time. Um, but there are certain stereotypes that's been put out there, and I wanted to tackle the main stereotype, and that is, do passport brothers, including myself, hate the B Dub? Um, I'm going to tell you the honest truth. You probably won't believe me. You probably will say, well, it's probably just only you that feel that way, but the majority of them feel this other way. It doesn't matter to me. I'm just going to speak my mind from my perspective and my point of view, and I'm going to tell the truth if I hate the B Dub. And my honest answer is no. I do not hate the B Dub. As a matter of fact, my mother is a B Dub. My sister is a B Dub. I have nieces, I have aunts, I have cousins who I love very much and do not hate. And if I was to hate them, I would have to hate a part of myself because my mother helped make me. So it's no way that I could hate the B Dub. However, I can say that there has been so much stuff that I have dealt with throughout the years that a lot of it I have to blame myself for allowing myself to be put in certain positions. But then there are certain things that's happened that it was no way for me to have any control of. And based off of the personal experiences that I've had, I've decided to explore my options because I'm not happy with the options that were presented for me here. And I got tired of having to jump through hoops for people that didn't appreciate what I did, that was only looking to use me as a utility. Now, you can ask me, what do I mean? What do I mean by that? I mean by expecting me to do things for them hand and foot, uh, with no appreciation, expecting to always sacrifice my time, money, attention, and energy for the community that doesn't care about me. I can honestly say that I've done things for the community. Like I've done cleanups for the community, volunteer work for the community. As a matter of fact, I actually organized a cleanup on my block one time where I used to live at in Chicago. And you know what the result of that was? Someone placing a bag of trash at my back porch. I'm being honest. That happened to me. That was a response to me trying to help clean up the community. Somebody placed a big, huge plastic bag of trash that had rotting meat inside of it, and they put it at the back porch of my apartment. So, going through that, also the dating market. There has been times where I've took women out on dates, some of them several dates, spent much money on them. And once it got to that third or fourth date and I was expecting for things to take to the next level, they would be like, it's not going any other level. I only see you as a friend after me taking the time, energy, and money and the attention that I put on them. That's happened. And I understand that's part of the game. But if it happens more than once over and over again, there's an issue. Also, I can honestly say that I went out on dates with women that I knew I wasn't interested in, just to show that I wasn't the type of guy that was judgmental and only looking at the outside of a woman. And I was actually trying to, learn about the woman, her character, and things like of that nature. And it still didn't work because I had to be honest with myself. I wasn't interested in them. And at the same time, they had an expectation that I should just take whatever it is that was offered to me, even if I wasn't interested in it, because there is a sense of entitlement, especially if a guy is at a certain level in life where he's making a lot of money, or he's not the broke Pookie and Ray Ray that they are usually interested in. And I used to get upset about that, but as I've gotten older and I've experienced life, I've learned to accept it. I've learned to accept how things are. It is a battle of wills and control that's going on. And I'm not looking at myself as a victim and I'm not blaming them. But at the same time, I'm being realistic about the possibilities in my life and what I need to do. And me going overseas and searching and looking and seeing what else is out there pursuing happiness, I see nothing wrong with it. As a matter of fact, I don't see nothing wrong with women doing the same thing if they're unhappy and unsatisfied with their life here in America. When I first started talking about my experience and going to the DR, it was more about me jumping on a topic that was hot and giving my take on it and my experience on it. And if I would have had a bad experience, I would have told the truth. I had a good experience, so I honestly told the truth about that. And that's just the way it is, like you don't have to like my perspective on things. You don't have to agree with my perspective, but that's the perspective that it is. And like I said, the women treated me so much nicer, so much better when I was in the DR that than I was used to, you know. And they were actually the type of women that I would like to date. Am I saying that they're perfect? Nobody is perfect. They had their flaws, like I said, like a lot of the women are single mothers out there. But they keep in mind that they're single mothers. And so they know that if they want to get into a real relationship with somebody, they have to cater to that man because they know that man is going to have to deal with them children. Instead of expecting that man to be submissive not only to them, but to their children and saying, well, my children come first and you're going to have to take care of me and these children, and I'm not going to give you any children, and you're going to be last in place in the household. It doesn't fly anymore, and it's not flying anymore. And it's a lot of men nowadays that's waking up to the realization of the unrealistic expectations that are out here. And instead of being upset, instead of trying to fight against it, and they seeing that there's no results every time that they try to fight against it, they just accept things the way that that it is, and then they look for other options out there. There's nothing wrong with that. Um, like I said, I have nothing against anybody. I don't have anything against any woman, any man, any child, any being on this planet. However, as a man, it's up to me to protect myself and make sure that I'm not getting taken advantage of, that I'm not becoming the footstool for a community or for a group of people that think very little of me and has shown me that they think very little of me throughout my existence. And it's a lot of men out here that feel the same way that I do. Uh, And for the men that are unsure about whether it is that they want to travel overseas and explore the world on their own, you might want to just wait and just see how things are. If you unsure about it, just don't do it at this moment. But then once you become sure about it, then you can go ahead and do it. Like me, I was unsure about it, but I still took the risk because I knew that I was having a lot of frustrations build up inside of me. Um, I was thinking that maybe, what I'm saying, like it was something wrong with me, even though I've been doing the work to improve myself and improve my situation. And I needed to see whether it was me or if it wasn't me. Because I know that I've been doing the internal work. I know I've been doing the external work as well. So with that being said, I needed to get outside of my environment to see if what I was actually doing was working or if I was just doing it in vain. And once I got outside of my personal environment into a new environment, and I saw that things were better for me there than what they are where I'm usually at, then I knew that it wasn't my fault, because I'm tired of taking these women out on dates and then they only thinking about just using me for the money and I get nothing in return, even though I shouldn't expect anything from anybody. But at the same time, they shouldn't expect anything from me as well. And a lot of women talk about, oh, they don't want to date broke men and the men have money, but it's not the amount of money that they want. And in my opinion, they need to stop food hustling because that's all that they're doing. They're food hustling. And I'm tired of getting food hustle. I would rather just stay by myself than get food hustle. As a matter of fact, like I said before prior, I had to ask myself, would I rather die alone or die with a woman I actually didn't want to be with, or die with a woman that probably look good on the outside but treat me like crap? And I made the decision that I would rather die alone. And that isn't me hating women, that's me loving myself. That's me making sure that I'm okay. And as far as, oh, these kids need mentors and all that, that's what volunteer work is for. Uh, I'm not taking care of anybody else's children unless I want to. I'm not saying that there's anything wrong with being a stepdaddy, but unless I personally choose to take care of somebody else's children, I'm not doing it under any circumstances. I don't care if the supply of women here get cut off from me 100% because I've made up my mind as a man that that's what I'm going to do. And I've had individuals try to pressure me or force feed certain ideologies on me that I'm not going for. And as a man, I'm just going to stick to that and do that. It doesn't matter anymore to me. You know what I'm saying? Because at the end of the day, whether I die with somebody or I die alone, I'm going to die anyway. That was the main thing that I had to come into grips with myself and my personal situation and my personal circumstance. And I understand that even me explaining this fully and honestly, there are still going to be some people that's not going to believe what I have to say, even though I'm putting everything out on the table. Like I'm letting it be known how it is that I feel 100%. I don't have any hatred in my heart for anybody, but there are going to be some that's going to still say that I hate people because I'm not doing what it is that they want me to do. That's a part of life. At the same time, I understand that some people want to shame me and want to guilt me because they want me to shut up and take the deal, or shut up and be by myself and be miserable. And I refuse to be that type of person. I'm going to express myself the way that I need to express myself. I'm going to reach the people that want and need to be reached with this message. And I'm going to do what it is that makes me feel better about myself and make me happy. Um, this is a part of my learning experience. This is a part of me coming to grips with who I am as a person. I understand that it's always going to be some form of disagreements. I can say I don't hate anybody, but they're going to say I hate B dubs, or they're going to say I hate women that have multiple children with different men, or they're going to say I hate women that weigh over 250 pounds. That could be furthest from the truth. If you really knew who I was behind this camera and who I was in my personal life, you wouldn't be saying that. But a lot of people don't know me. It's a lot of people that knew me growing up, and I come to realize that they don't know me because they came up with these false assumptions about me, and they choose to look at me as a negative person. And me doing these videos like this is helping me with understanding that it's nothing that I can do about it, but continue to express myself the way that I need to, and to be the best version of myself that I can be at the moment. Like, am I at the finish line, as they say? No, I'm not, but I'm damn near running as hard as I can in that race. So with that being said, I hope that the B dubs know that I don't hate them, that I love them. I love my mother. I love my sister. I love my nieces. As a matter of fact, I'm not going to put the family member on blast, but they say that we don't protect the B dubs. But there was a situation where one of my family members was getting abused by her husband, and she almost got killed. I did my best to protect her. I had my car burnt down by him. And a month later, after that happened, she was back with him. As a matter of fact, she was barbecuing with him at a park in the neighborhood where I was living at the time. So, how do you think that made me feel? Do you think that made me feel like I was appreciated and loved? Just think about that for a moment. We all go through different circumstances and situations that's uneasy and that's hard. And I had to look at myself and ask myself, do I overextend myself for others? Do I do too much? And am I doing too much while receiving very little? And I had to be honest with myself about that. And going through those experiences, it did piss me off. It did make me angry, but I didn't hate the people. I still had love for them. It hurt my feelings when I went through what it is that I went through. But at the end of the day, it was nothing that I could do about it. I probably should have never got myself involved in the situation in the first place. But I loved my family member to the point to where I was willing to put my life on the line for them. So a man that's just one example. So a man that goes through that, do you really think that he hates to be dubbed? That's a question that I want you to ask yourself. You know, and it's a lot of men that's in the same position that I'm in, that they simped and they cape for women, and they got absolutely nothing in return. So, what do you expect these men to do? Keep doing the same thing over and over again with the same results? Or do you think that they should use their thinking capacities to come up with a better solution for themselves? So, with that being said, I've been going on for about a little bit over 19 minutes, but I didn't want to make this too long. But this was my point of view on how I felt about certain things. And I wanted this narrative of men that get their passports and moving around, that they hate the B dubs. As a matter of fact, like I said in one of my previous posts, I went out on a date with somebody before I went on this vacation, and I was hoping that things would work out between me and that person, and it didn't. And she was a B dub. So, in order for me to hate them, I wouldn't have spent a dime on her. At the most, I would have took her in a White Castle drive-through, bought her one burger while getting myself a sack of 10, and eating it right in front of her face. But I chose not to do that. But anyway, thank you for the people that took the time to listen. Thank you for the ones that's going to listen to the replay. Hey, I don't hate anybody. Simple as that. You can either take it or leave it. It doesn't matter at the end of the day because I'm still going to be doing me. But thank you very much. Have a nice evening.